groups for caregivers, to help them, to have that support for themselves, because when you're a caregiver and you're trying to help your children or your siblings go through it, it's quite taxing on them as well. And so the way I try to help a little bit is just by informing them of the symptoms, and also by letting them know about the different resources that are in society, in the community, to help the person who's going through it, and potentially also the family members. So I try to just kind of let people know about what's available to them in the community.
Okay, that's neat.
Yeah, thanks.
That is really neat. What are some ways that you help in this area?
Well, I feel the biggest thing that I do right now is getting people to share their stories, because the reality is there's so many people who are living with mental health challenges, and we don't see what it is. We don't know what they're actually going through. So what I do is, with my podcast, I get people to just share their stories, like to unveil themselves. And by doing that, I believe it raises awareness for mental health, and it also lets people see the different sides of mental health. And lets people, it kind of gives them hope, to let them know that you can still, this doesn't have to hold you captive. And that's the kind of message that I want. The message that I want to let people know, is that I know that society kind of writes people off who have mental health challenges, but I want to let people know that, no, we're not write-offs. There's hope for us. And it's just a matter of knowing what your triggers are, knowing your symptoms, getting the right doctors, having your tribe, your support system, and just knowing yourself. Like I think when you're in that place, when you know yourself, and what your triggers are and the things that you're going through, like, it could help a lot towards your progress. And I try to share those stories as much as possible. Like, I encourage people to share their stories. Hope that answered that question.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Okay, wonderful.
I agree. Like, when you understand that you're not the only one out there because you've heard someone's story, it inclines you to either try a method that they used to come out of it, or just realize hey, I'm not the only one. Other people are going through this process as well.
Right.
Now, would you say that you're continuing your own mental health?
Pardon me? If I'm continuing my own?
Yeah, your own journey.
Yeah, I'm still living. I still live with bipolar. For me, my journey, I have doctors, and I have a team of professionals that I see on a regular basis to ensure that my mental health is stable. And I do take medication. So that was something that was like a kind of a big change for me, was because for the first few years when I kept being hospitalized, I was not on medication, and I didn't have the support. I didn't have any psychotherapy. I didn't have anything. I was just living in denial that there was a problem. And but when I finally said, when I finally looked myself in the mirror and I said, my name is Cleoni Crawford, I have bipolar, and that's okay. That was like the beginning of things turning around for the better, where I was able to get a psychiatrist. He prescribed medication. It took about 5 different tries of medication before something actually worked. So it was a challenge, but I still go through episodes, but my episodes are much, much less and not as harmful as it used to be.
Mm.
And I also found I'm also a mother, which I never thought I would be. Um, when I became pregnant and I had my son, I for the like through that whole pregnancy, that was the first time that I had been episode free for such a long time. It was like about a whole year and a half where there was no episodes. So I know my son was like a big part of my mental health, me being well. Um, like, yeah, it was a big part of me even being able to be well. Like, which is just kind of funny how life works that way. But yeah, so not only am I trying to be well for myself, but I'm also trying to be well for my son.
Wow. It really is like a child transforms you kind of thing.
Yeah, he really did transform me. It was like I don't, it didn't make sense, like, because like I thought that I never thought that I would be, like I said, I didn't think I would be a mother because of my mental health challenges, but life, had a different plan for me. And I've been, I'm a good mother to my son, despite having a mental health challenge.
That's amazing. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is wonderful. Now you have 2 books out, correct?
I do. I have my first book was called The Music of My Life, which talks about my journey with mental health and with bipolar and epilepsy and school and everything. It's just basically my little memoir. And then the second book is called 30+1 Resilience Stories, which is I'm a co-author in that book, where I share one of my stories of resilience. And my third book is coming out next week, Tuesday, on the 11th, which is called Landed for Success, where I'm also a co-author in that book. And I share my journey with mental health and how it has led to my new path as being a mental health advocate, author, speaker, podcast host, and all that stuff, all that jazz.
That's cool. Congrats. That's a new book coming out. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm really excited. I had to start doing the promotion for it. I'm just, yeah, like that's why I really want to encourage people that no matter how checkered your past looks, it doesn't have to end there. You can turn things around.
You can turn things around.
Yeah.
That's going to be the title of this episode.
Oh, wow.
I like that. I always pick the title based off of what the conversation goes and what it is said, and you can turn things around. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. You can turn things around. I mean, when it comes to resilience, I'm queen of resilience. I know what it is to bounce back and to bounce forward. I know what it is to bounce forward, like to really turn your life around and to get back up despite whatever that's going on. So yeah, I know it. I know it. It's my life. I refuse to give up. I mean, I came close to, I came knocking at death's door and I refuse. I mean, I was close. I tried to hang myself and I tried to drown myself when I was at my lowest low with the depression. And because of the voice that I heard that said, you can make it just one more day. Don't do this. I just been doing it one day at a time, and yeah, I'm making it. I'm doing it. I'm overcoming. I'm being resilient. I'm pushing forward.
Now, before, when you didn't have your son,
Mm-hmm.
You heard that voice in your head that said, you can do it, you can do it. Now, is it the voice in your head and the image of your son moving you and pushing you forward?
Definitely. When you have a child, I mean, they mean like the world to you, and it's like that inspiration. It's like, it's not only do you got to be well for yourself, but you have someone who's depending on you, and you see them, just like, yeah, when I see my son smile at me, it's just like, I can't afford to get sick. I can't afford to stay down. I can't afford to give up. I just can't.
Now, besides just wanting to help people, what made you create, your community, your podcast, your books and such, to reach out and let people know like they are not the only ones going through something like this?
My personal lived experience, just by going through what I went through, I realized that, you know what? Other people need this encouragement. Like, I remember when I was going through my period and I was just learning about bipolar disorder, I decided to look up on the internet famous people with bipolar disorder. So I decided to look on the internet to see exactly, are there other people that gone through this and overcame? Because what was happening was I was going to support groups, right? And I was listening to the stories of the other people, and I was, even though I was going through, I was having a hard time, I felt as though the support groups were helpful, but not helpful fully, because I wasn't hearing stories of people who've overcome. Do you know what I mean? I was getting the support from other people that were still going through it. And I desperately, desperately wanted to get better. I really wanted to get better. So I was just like, I need to know that this is not what's going on in my life. I'm not hopeless, that this is not a hopeless situation. I need to know, like, it's like, God, you got to show me something that other people have lived with this and have done great things. Because, I had done some really good things before, because I was a fashion designer before I became an advocate. And, with my fashion designs, I was on TV a few times, and I was in magazines and, for my fashion work. And I was like, I know that I was created for greatness, right? I know that I was meant to share my story, like to encourage people. And I was just like, I need to see that this is possible. So because I didn't see other people talking about mental health at the time, I decided, you know what, I'm going to create my own platform. And by doing so, not only was I able to encourage myself, but I was able to encourage other people.
Where can other people reach out to get your assistance and let you encourage them?
Okay, well, they can check me out on my website, www.cleonicrawford.com. That's CLEONI Crawford.com. So CRAWFORD. And also with my podcast, it's www.resilientminds365.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, under only Cleoni. So only Cleoni. That's what I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and whatever. I don't know what the other one is. Oh, LinkedIn. Can't forget LinkedIn. Sorry.
Please search Cleoni.
Jamaican accents.
Right. So basically search Cleoni and they'll find you.
Yeah, just search Cleoni Crawford. You'll find me. There might be one article that's on there that I don't really like, but whatever. They'll find me. Just Google me. I'm there.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Cleoni, for coming on. Like,
yeah, no problem.
You